Billionaire and political donor Tom Steyer out with a new political ad advocating for impeachment against President Trump. Steyer just one of many white and male political donors dominating the field. But now, several women of color across this country are trying to change that. That's according to the Washington Post, who writes that the efforts are part of a broader campaign to elevate voices of this group and to recognize the power minority women hold through political giving. I'm joined now by Aimee Allison. She is founder of She the People. Always good to see you, Aimee. Thanks for your time. So right now, the political donor class, mostly male, mostly white, and it doesn't really match the diversity of this country. Explain, first of all, why donor disparities matter.
Well, donor disparities matter because, look, Democrats just cannot win without women of color, both as voters and political donors, especially in this election cycle. We've seen historically women of color have donated to organizations and causes that invest right back in the community and spend their money differently, really believe in a broader justice agenda. And political donors that are women of color are no different. But the challenge is that candidates and campaigns haven't until now been speaking to women of color donors and our issues. So we have left that untapped. And what we're seeing now is that women of color political donors are leveling up and getting organized in order to have a really big impact for 2020.
How might that affect issues like abortion, affirmative action, immigration?
Well, first of all, political donors give their money directly to campaigns, but they also give their money to organizations on the ground. I mean, if you look at the close a relationship between donor collaboratives and organizations that have emerged in the last couple of years, including Way to Win, run by Tori Gavito, and Women's Donor Network, run by Jenna Koner, among others, they are closely allied with women of color who are running voter expansion, engagement, and registration efforts on the ground. And those run parallel to campaigns and campaign infrastructure. And on the ground, these movement leaders who are representing racial, economic, social justice, these issues, including abortion rights and others, as they build strength on the ground, as they get fully funded by donors, they're able to organize and speak to communities to really convince them to be part of the political process in order to get their issues reflected in politics. And I think that's the ecosystem and the importance of women of color donors in this moment.
Your organization, She the People, what are they planning to do to change the game with regards to this?
Well, She the People, elevates the political voice and power of women of color, which includes not only voters, but organizers and donors. I think all of that combined means that women of color who are leveling up, who are insisting that the politics and the issues and the campaigns reflect the kind of, commitment to improving the communities and speaking to issues of racial, economic, and gender justice. And so I think what She the People's big contribution is helping to bring people together. In the Washington Post, it showed the image of political donors who had come together as part of the She the People presidential forum that we held with many of the major candidates in Houston 2 months ago, and really shows our opportunity to bring people together, to align, and to continue organizing and supporting those efforts. Look, if you look at the millions of dollars that these donor collaboratives run by women of color moved in 2018, that's just a taste of what's going to happen for 2019 and 2020. I think as we get further organized and assert our power, we're also going to see not only at the federal level, but at the state level. She the People held a Virginia town hall to gather women of color organizers in that swing state for an event. And that evening, they announced a Power Rising PAC specifically to support women of color who are running for the state legislature in Virginia, which is currently dominated by the GOP. They want to make sure that women of color, when it comes to issues of abortion, when it comes to issues of economic justice and criminal justice, that we have candidates who are going to be courageous and clear about representing the community in that way. So we're likely to see donors organizing at the state level for PACs as well as the federal level level to shape and insist that the politics going forward in the party really represent the politics of the community.
Aimee Allison, founder of She the People. Aimee, thank you. Thanks for your time. From Air